Greetings again. I got some new streaming lights that should remove a lot of the shadows and stuff that were in the last video. I just wanted to test them out and figure I'd muse a little bit at the same time over what's going on with Magic and Rudy and just the quality of Wizards products in general. And at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and do a deck and show you my beautiful playmat. I absolutely love this artwork. This is the kind of artwork that I wish Magic had more of. The flesh and blood artwork's just great. So anyhow, got a bunch of guys at work that just started playing Commander, and they are wanting to just play pre-cons. So I grabbed the pre-con that I thought I would like. Oh, that's not even the card. I didn't even know that. Interesting. Wizards has tricked me. What is this? You may use these punch-outs as counters or as victory confetti. Fascinating. Huh. Neat. So, anyhow, I like zombies. I got a zombie tribal deck. Lots of trash. I wonder how much you actually throw away money-wise in packing. But anyhow, on to what we were talking about with Rudy. So, I've been watching his latest videos, and he talked about how most recently a Mox Jet didn't sell for $1,000 from the 30 years or the 30th anniversary set. And that's, in my opinion, that's not wrong. I wouldn't pay $1,000 for a Mox Jet from the 30th anniversary set. That's just silly. There's really no value there yet. Now, here's the thing that I think a lot of people are, kind of discounting or ignoring. And that is that just recently, I think it was in the last few years, they made Collector's Edition and Championship Edition decks tournament legal, sleeve playable. Now, those are cards that, for almost 30 years we're not allowed to play. Well, 20 years for the championship decks. I actually hit up one of my buddies, Chris, that just collected the championship decks because he liked having them around. They were similar power level. We'd bust them out and play them. We didn't even sleeve them. I'm like, dude, you got, like $300-400 Gaia's Cradles in there and all kinds of interesting things. And, yeah, he busted them out and priced them out, and he was like, oh my God. He's like, I wish we'd sleeve played these. I'm like, who would have known? Because, Wizards said these will never be tournament legal. Well, it turns out that, perception is reality, right? And, same thing with the reprint documentation that they had up on their website. I guess that's come down now. Regardless of the reality of the situation, the truth of the situation, the truth might be that, they're really just revamping the website and they took it down. The timing of it is awfully bad, in corporate speak. I work at a big corporation, and, it'd be a shit show. It would be a, PR nightmare. But the other saying that we have, at least in the corporations, is that perception is reality. And the perception right now is that Wizards does not give a shit about the game's long-term survival, right? And that they are just using it as a temporary cash boost to help out investors, help out stock price, whatever. And perception is reality. So that's true, because that's what people believe. Whether or not that is Wizards' actual plan, it is the reality of the situation we find ourselves in. Will they reprint the reserve list? Maybe. One of the things that I have always wondered is, when it gets bad, and we've talked about this in my play group several times, and that is when it gets really bad at Hasbro and they need money, and I feel like we're either there or approaching it, they'll just make a secret lair. They'll call it like Secret Lair 24 karat gold, and they'll reprint the Power 9, and, my thought was they would charge $1,000 for that secret lair, but apparently I was way underpricing that, because this 30th anniversary shit, they want $1,000 for 4 random packs, and, people like me who have, basically the old country song, if it wasn't for my bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. You know, we'll pull, you know, Peer Laces, Thought Laces, Animate Walls, Magical Hacks, Sleight of Mind. Although, I'm going to be honest with you, I always thought Magical Hack and Sleight of Mind were cool concept cards. Probably broken in the right scenario. You know, old school deck I used to love running was, I ran a green-blue with Tsunami and Magical Hack, and I just, you know, Magical Hack the Tsunami to destroy whatever land type my opponent was playing. Now, this was before, you know, there were 50,000, you know, variant lands, and, you know, having a basic land in a deck is, you know, questionable decision, although I still run them. But, you know, long story short, I think that, you know, they may just reprint the reserve list with the regular back at some point. I mean, why not? I mean, it's the community has pretty much given them the green light, telling them, you know, F off, we're not going to buy your stuff. And, you know, I know Rudy's really worried that this 30th Magic's going to succeed. And I think whether it succeeds or not, Hasbro has its back against the wall. I'm just looking at the stock price. I'm looking at the floors that the big banks and the big investment houses have put on them. And when it comes right down to it, I'm thinking that it's over. You know, they're going to reprint the reserve list. Now, that doesn't mean that the old cards aren't going to have value. I mean, look at Pokemon. Pokemon is a great example of most of the old cards in Pokemon are completely unplayable. They're garbage by today's power standards, but they still hold a lot of value. So I think that, and that's the other thing too, is like you look at like, you know, reprints of rookie baseball cards and things like that. The originals hold all the value. The reprints basically go to zero because they're reprints and you can get as many as you want. Well, I think this has been a long enough session that I can, you know, take a look at these new Streamlights and see how they're doing. They're blinding the shit out of me. I've been watching these cards go by. This deck is loaded, man. This is a Precon Commander deck. What the hell is it? Undead Unleashed. This thing is actually, it might be better than like my constructed tribal zombie deck, although that is designed to be a goober deck to just hang out with people that don't really make their commander decks to kill people. But just looking at this deck, man, this thing's actually pretty well put together for what it does. All it needs really is like a Phyrexian Altar, a cryptbreaker, you know, throw in a Blood Artist, Falconwrath Noble, and you got yourself a nice little infinite combo once you throw in some searches that would be fairly easy to hit. All right. Well, anyhow, like I said, let's end this video. This was more of a test, a little bit of a rant. If you watched it, cool. If you didn't watch it, cool. If you turned it on and turned it off immediately, cool. And, you know, let me just remove this so you guys can remember this beautiful artwork that does not exist in Magic. And that's it. Take it easy.